Previously in Ultra City.
203. A robbery in progress. 304. Someone's home being burglarized. 366. A violent crime's committed. 504. An alleyway rape. And yeah, it don't stop. Another 187 on an undercover cop. These codes ain't just numbers on a radio beam. They're cries for help.
This is what they pay me for. DEA! Stop in the name of the law! I love you, baby.
I love you more.
What the hell is that? I've been in a coma? Brace yourself. The adventure is just beginning. Revenge awakens in... Don't miss out. Get your copy now.
What's up, meatbags? It is the often imitated, never duplicated, chosen one of CG, the Chicano Stanley, the one, the only Frog Tony. I'm joined by a man who needs no introduction. You all know him. You all love him. I've seen you guys talking about him in the chat. It's none other than Sven Stoffels. That's how you pronounce it, right?
That's exactly right. Hi, guys. It's Sven Stoffels. I'm here with Frog Tony and Transylvanian Jack, and we're doing it.
Hell yeah.
TJ Laser down there, our good buddy from Carpathia, is joining us. He's going to help me co-host. We're going to be talking Butch Killigan, and we're going to be talking indie comics.
Hell yeah.
Who knows what else crazy things we're going to get up to. But
Who knows
thank
what
you.
might happen. Anything can happen.
Oh, that's right. But you know what's definitely going to happen? You guys are going to support Butch Killigan on Indiegogo. I got the link. It's pinned in the chat, guys. I need you to go there. Show him some love. It looks fantastic.
Heck yeah. Yeah,
So,
guys, go check out the campaign pages, please, on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And yesterday we released a new variant cover because we ran out of the first ones.
As you can see, he's got 90 backers right now on Indiegogo. Guys, we got to get those numbers up. We got to get them up. This is the kind of comic you want. This is the violent, male, masculine comic you've been craving, right? It's none of this leftist shit. Some straight manly stuff, right?
Seeing some
This is the masculine power fantasy that you're all been waiting for.
Yeah. So, Sven, could you talk us through, for people unfamiliar with Butch Killigan, with the your journey making this comic?
Do you want me to give like a little elevator pitch of what this thing is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you who haven't read the first book, well, after the events of the first book, Butch Killigan, who is a hard-boiled, badass detective, 80s movie-style detective, he wakes up from a coma. Of course, in the events of the first book, he discovers this mysterious compound, which sends him into a crazy hallucinogenic trip. He ends up losing his wife, pregnant wife. And then after that, in book 2, now he wakes up from a coma to find Ultra City turned into this degenerate, psychopathic hellscape, a city that's covered in an ad-ridden dome that projects ads 24/7.
So it became LA.
It became LA. I tried to predict the future a little bit, and yeah, I've mentioned this before. Yeah, so as I was writing this book, I started, I think, like 2017 or something like that. I was writing this book and coming up with all kinds of crazy scenarios, and then the reality started to kind of catch up to me, and I quickly realized I need to go full-blown absurdist satire. So what we have right now in book 2, you're going to be introduced to self-replicating retarded clone workers that get a little bit more retarded. Did we pass the first 8 seconds? I can say retarded, right?
We say retarded all the time around here.
Nice. I love saying retarded. So yeah, retarded clone workers, they get more and more retarded every time they self-replicate. We got Chinese human mosquito hybrids. We got
I see you got Horseman here.
we got 3D printed exoskeleton legs that are infused by a suicidal man's spirit, and the exoskeleton legs try to kill themselves at every turn. I mean, this book's gonna get fucking nuts. Okay, so if you're into that type of stuff, go back Butch Gilligan.
Sounds awesome. Our retarded fans might be a little upset. Like, wait a minute, those guys remind me of me. See, you could see yourselves in this book.
Hell yeah.
I love the art. It's almost like a Jendi Tartakovsky style.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
I'm no artist. TJ's the artist of the team. I'm just a guy who says things and makes people feel good.
What does TJ think?
Oh, I'm loving it. I love the references to all the 80s action movies, right? Like, you can see it right here. Like already from the trailer, I can feel the RoboCop vibes. My old name was TJ Laser, which was named after the person on the TV in RoboCop.
Yeah, of course, made by Paul Verhoeven, a fellow Dutchman, because I'm from the Netherlands. If you guys didn't know that,
who does the same kind of satire we're seeing here. Yeah.
If only I could ever match that level of satire, then I'm gonna be a happy man. Because that basically is perfect satire in RoboCop and Starship Troopers and stuff like that.
It's kind of hard to satire the real world the way it's going. I mean, it's so
no,
right?
It's not that hard. It can get much worse. It could get much worse. Trust me.
I don't know. They might see your stuff and think that's a blueprint. They go, wait a minute, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
That's a possibility. Let's see what the chat is saying here.
We got Katie Did. She says, hope to get you on my stream someday, Sven. The comic looks great. Katie's awesome at promoting comics. She does it in the morning. So that'll probably
Send
work
me
a
a
lot
DM
better
on Twitter. Maybe I'll hop on. Campaign still running for how many days? 15 days? 2 more weeks? Something like that?
15 more days.
Well, there you go. We're halfway through, guys. We surpassed the first campaign, so that's good. Winning. We're also on Kickstarter as well.
Yeah. This crowd's a little. They favor Indiegogo over Kickstarter.
I see.
There's a, we have a strong comics crowd. Yeah. Now let me show the variant.
Yeah. So we're doing a different cover on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and then Butch Gilligan #1 that I have right here, the physical ones. These are nearly sold out. There's still a couple of copies left on the web store, but these are completely sold out almost. And because we still want people to obviously be able to enjoy the first story, we're doing a new variant cover, which is the one that's on screen right now, which you can add on. Even if you've already backed the campaign, you can add that one on still, get a copy of that.
All right, I'm going to play this trailer. Let's see what it says.
Introducing the brand new Cover C variant for Butch Gilligan Volume 1. The original copies of Butch Gilligan Volume 1 are almost completely sold out. And once they're gone for good. No reprints of these first edition covers, meaning they're set to become very rare collector's items. While the first edition is nearly out of stock, we are releasing this brand new limited Cover C to ensure new readers still have access to the story. Whether you're a returning backer or new to the campaign, this variant can be added to your existing pledge at any time during the Butch Gilligan Volume 2 campaign. So head over to our Kickstarter and lock in your exclusive cover now. Once they're gone, they're gone. Introducing.
There you go.
Looks nice.
Thanks.
So, Sven, you draw, you write. All of this is your baby, I take it?
100%. I write everything, draw everything, do all the promotion. I do everything but the fulfillment and the printing, basically. That's Iconic Comics handles that part. Thank Christ, yeah. And we had a successful first campaign. Everybody got their books on time. Everybody was happy. It was high-quality packaging, high-quality books. So, yeah, everything's good.
You didn't look into Rippaverse? Sending with the Eric.
I did not look into that yet, no. I didn't look into that business with a D and a Z.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that business because I know you said some quote unquote controversial things on Josh Moon's podcast.
Yeah, I heard people thought it was very controversial. I thought it was just a nice observation. Maybe not so nice, but an accurate observation, I thought.
Yeah. Right. I was telling you earlier before streaming, you were like, no, we'll save it. But
yeah,
it's pretty much your observation is pretty much what ours was. I think Josh's audience is a different audience than ours, right? The Kiwi farmers, they probably don't come around this way, so they probably didn't hear us saying this. To us, we're like, yeah, that's what we've been saying. What's so controversial?
We should explain what I said. We should explain what I said first, because people maybe don't know. I was basically commenting on the tokenism aspect, which is a thing that you see happening a lot in American culture, especially. Well, maybe you should explain what your take on it was, because people were not very happy with me saying that. They called me a racist liberal, is what the Rippaverse people called me, which is just ridiculous. I've never been called a liberal. I've been called a racist a bunch. Right? I don't give a shit about that, but a liberal, me? That's ridiculous.
Look, I'm someone who respects people around here, right? When people tell me they want to be referred to by a certain name or a certain style, right? I respect people and I do it. And Eric July clearly right here in his own video thumbnail says, look at me, I'm the magical Negro now. So obviously that's how we refer to Eric July. Magical Negro.
That's interesting, because that's the term that I used that people had a problem with. I said magical Negro, which is a term that people use in the vernacular to refer to, well, what would you call it?
It's a black guy with all the answers for white people. It's literally a literary term and a movie term, right?
Yes.
Bagger Vance, he's the magical Negro.
I was referring to conservatards, but it's also, of course, like liberals will have the black friend, and they kind of use the black as like a consensus type filter to have their own opinions filtered through. Because you don't want to be, the worst thing to be called is a racist, of course. So then you need to have the black guy that's part of your little niche or your political group, and they can spout off your political opinions for you, and then you are being shielded of any criticism of racism accusations. That's basically the gist of it. And I thought I saw little hints of that within this Eric July universe, you know what I'm saying? And, I'm an artist. I do a stream as well about art, and I analyze art. There's even a video up on my main channel, the Sven Stoffels channel, where I attempted to create an objective definition of what art is. You can go watch that on your own time. So I'm kind of an art nerd, and I think I should be allowed to do like a little analysis of like something like this, which is happening in the indie comics scene. And yeah, my analysis was that it seems, because the comic book itself was sort of subpar. Now, to be fair, there is some cool stuff in the Rippaverse universe, the trailers that are coming out of that Texas studio, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to be fair and balanced here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I thought I recognized some tokenism. Excuse me?
You said some trailers coming out of the Texas studio?
Yeah, I think there's a Texas-based animation studio that are doing some of these animated trailers for him, which look pretty good. Now, that's not to say that they wouldn't make good stuff with other source material, probably. So I'm not sure which one is elevating what.
Yeah. Well, because you said that, and it's funny because I'm pretty sure it's actually a Brazilian company. Eric July claims to have his own studio, but it's actually they hire a company that is in Brazil that does the animation.
It's in Brazil. I thought it was in Texas for some reason, but perhaps I'm wrong.
No, like I said, because he claims he'll slap this is a Rippaverse Studios, animated trailer. But then if you look at all the credits, it's like actually animated by such and such studio, and that studio is located in Brazil. He basically gets third world country sweatshops to do his comic trailers.
Similar to Vito, how he has a Spanish artist that doesn't speak English. I heard yesterday when I was on the Kill Stream. Shout outs.
Yeah, it's a Mexican guy. And I guess him and Vito communicate through Google Translate, and I guess it works sometimes.
That doesn't sound completely frustrating.
Yeah. Well, I wish he was here because it would, he could explain it to you exactly all his frustrations. But from what I
perhaps one day we'll have that discussion. You said you reached out to him, but that didn't really come to fruition.
Well, he told me if I'm awake. And I would assume 5 o'clock California time, which is what it is now. It's 5:21 over there, right? He should be awake. Who goes to sleep at 5 o'clock? Apparently, Vito. Vito goes to sleep at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's a kind of an odd time to be asleep, but yeah, he to be fair, he did say his sleep schedule is really fucked up, so that does sound like it. But yeah, 5 p.m. is kind of wacky to still be asleep. I got up at 6 again. You know what I'm saying? 6:30. I was up and running to do this interview right here.
It's wacky, but here's the thing. I talked to Vito in the morning, my time, right? So it was like, let me see. It's like 7:30 my time, so it would have been 5:30 a.m. his time. That gives him plenty of time to say, you know what, I want to talk to Sven. You know, I've been avoiding this. Let me take a nap now or try to sleep now. That way I can get up later, right? Set an alarm, do something. If you really want to talk to somebody, you do what needs to be done in order to get it done.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to be a lot of excitement for him to talk to me. We're becoming like rivals, it seems like, even though that was not my intent at all. I just wanted to talk to him, but now it's starting to get this life of its own. You know what I'm saying? I think
Crazy Kids says, I'm spreading misinformation, though. The animation studio is not in Brazil. It is in Texas. Is it? I could have swore someone said it was a Brazilian.
See, that's what I thought. See, you're spreading misinformation, dude. What the frick? What the frickin' heck?
I'm only spreading it to 38 people. It's not that. It's not going that far.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's no worse than Eric July spreading tons of misinformation about his comic. So you read it just from the art standpoint. What did you think of the comics?
I mean, I heard some people reviewing it, saying that it was complete. They were really harsh and very cutthroat with it, let's say. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really believe it could have been that bad. And again, listen, it's not that I just enjoy shitting or beating the guy down. I thought I gave a pretty balanced review of it. And look, if we live in a meritocratic system here, I should be able, without getting any vitriol and crazy fans, because I think he pays like people on Twitter to try and ratio others. So people got mad at me. We had a book, it just doesn't look good. You know what I'm saying? And me, I come from the school of thought. We're in the indie comic scene here. That means you're no longer beholden to the top-down corporate control. And I would expect to see, ideally, have these great artistic visions come to fruition. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even some transgressive stuff. The sky's the limit. And so with that point of view, I went through the ISOM book, and it's just subpar, uninspired. I don't think it really, any authorship shines through. It was just kind of cookie cutter, very bland. And then, of course, everybody and their mom has already commented on the fact that he uses all these egregious use of like 3D models to the point where you can still see like badly welded 3D model vertices and stuff. You can still see all that. He basically drag and dropped, or his artist dragged and dropped a bunch of models in there and then made it like into a vector image. So yeah, it just didn't really hold up.
Online, you know, the ones that are available. Just got them.
Excuse me, didn't catch that.
Like, he didn't even make them on his own. He found the free ones that he could find online.
Yeah.
3D assets.
Yeah, I know. And look, there's been a lot of discussion about like asset use. Again, I think we need to turn off our light switch brain. I think if you look, I read a lot of manga, or a lot. I read mangas, and they have several techniques wherein they do like photo bashing and stuff like that. I have zero problems with that. But if basically you claim to be drawing a comic book and then it's all traced free assets, it's like, come on, dude, you're really jumping the gun here a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think my problem with it is, like TJ said, if you drew it, right, if his artist drew the 3D model and was using a model that he created on his own, I think that would be one thing, versus I just went to a website and took some free assets and dropped them into my comic book, right? It's like someone else drew this, and I'm taking credit for them pretending I'm the artist of this comic book. So right there off the bat, I think that's problem in and of itself. And then secondly, he didn't even do it good. he did it in such a way that it was noticeable, and I think that's another problem that you have, right?
Well, I think there's a lot of people that use like a lot of mainstream comics, a lot of comics that use like sketch up models, but then at least they will use it as a reference, as a starting off point. They'll do like a draw over of it or whatever to help with perspective and shit like that. Like in Japan, studio assistants will literally go, like they have like a setting or a scene in mind. They literally go there with a camera. They'll take pictures of all the frames according to the storyboard, and they'll use the pictures as a starting off point for like backgrounds and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's a completely different story if you're just dragging and dropping free assets and then just clicking the vector button and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? There's a balancing act here.
Yeah, and like I said, that's just the art critique, right? The story, horrible in my opinion. At least that first item doesn't really tell you much. There's no reason to be invested in the characters. There's no reason to be invested in the world. It's so lackluster, and it's amazing when you really look into it. Because I don't know how far you've looked into it. Obviously, you're a busy man. You're doing your own things, but we sort of did like a deep dive into the whole Rippaverse fandom stuff, and you'll be shocked to know that there's a huge chunk that bought the comic and never took it out of the packaging.
Yeah, I've seen this problem occur because, like, look, crowdfunding a comic book is an uphill battle. And then I've seen some people, they said, listen, this is what you don't want to happen. And they sent me some examples of campaigns that did really well. Like they made like 100K on their first book. And then when they do the sequel, it drops by like 85%. So that's a disaster. Okay. You might have made 100K on the first one, but people aren't really invested. Now, if I look at the metrics of my comic book of Butch Gilligan, 85% is like a word of mouth. So my marketing comes from people telling each other and are the people that are actually organically grassroots excited about the story. So that's a good thing. It might not do the big numbers that you see some of these old heads, DC superstars and stuff do, but there is an actual genuine interest in the comic book. You know what I'm saying? So that's a tip there for don't get discouraged if you're not making like $100,000 on your first campaign. And yeah, because that means people are sort of like they're backing a brand, they're rallying behind a brand that they believe in rather than the product itself, which I think is exemplary of this some of the Rippaverse stuff. You have that. What is that bald guy? That fucking I can say that faggot. No, what is that guy called?
Yeah,
it's boring. It's boring pronouns. That guy. Who is that guy again? What's his name? Az. A-Z. Az.
Yeah.
Yeah, he named himself after Azrael.
That guy's such a faggot, dude. I made fun of that guy when that video came out. Just look, another thing with these fucking guys is such conservatard pussies. They're too afraid. So they're like upset. All the content they make is about, oh, this is too woke, and blah, blah, blah. But they have such a low level, low effort analysis. His analysis about all his favorite properties becoming gay and woke is like, can we stop with the pronouns? It's boring, right? But they're too afraid to actually look into it. They're too scared to actually call out the people at the top. This is genuinely a concerted top-down effort to subvert all these properties. It's a propaganda effort. It comes from BlackRock, Vanguard. Larry Fink is at the top of the stuff. They've talked about ESG scores. But these people are just complaining about like they go, oh, why does Disney keep doing this? Hey, go woke, go broke. No, they're not going to go broke, okay? The propaganda effort, the rewiring of your brain is worth a lot more to them than whatever money they're losing. They can reprint the money anyway, so they don't give a fuck. As long as they can make your children gay and trans, they're happy, okay? So that's what that's about. It's not boring. It's way more sinister than that.
Yeah.
No, you guys.
We don't want the kids gay or trans. No, I just wanted to make sure there was enough dead air so they could clip that properly. You know.
All right. Can't wait to see that make the rounds.
Yeah, but we've talked about this ad nauseum on this channel. They really have no media literacy. I hate to use that word because the left uses it to dismiss criticism. Like, oh, you don't have media literacy. But they legitimately don't. Like, they don't understand how a story is structured, how it works, why certain choices are made in a story in order to facilitate the greater narrative and everything, right? They don't understand things like musical cues and things. They just go, oh, there's a gay guy in it. It's woke. And they go, well, actually, what's the story, right? Because they do that with video games a lot, and that really pisses me off. Because they'll be like, oh, they covered up her boobs. That makes it woke. I go, yeah, but what about the gameplay? Does it play good? Is the story still good? Like, sure. So they covered up her titties. Were you jacking off to the game anyway? No, not really, right? I hope you weren't.
I mean, sure, but look, there's a thing happening now in video games, for instance, right? And I don't even think people are necessarily understanding how nefarious this is. So what they do is this: they'll create a property. Let's take Last of Us as an example, okay? So you have The Last of Us. It makes a game with a cis white male. It's a genuinely okay story, you know, a surrogate father story with the daughter, that stuff, okay? Everybody's roped in. Everybody's excited. They love it. A new IP is built. And then do you think it's an accident that the next one, the sequel, they kill off the white guy, they emasculate the main character, and now you got to play as a lesbian that's married to a Jewish woman with a surrogate Chinese baby in her belly, and you go through a synagogue in the game? Do you think that's an accident that happens? Do you think it's an accident that they create,
play the game.
They make the Joker, right? They make the Joker movie. It's an okay movie. It's derivative of like 70s Scorsese movies. It has some good cinematography. And then a certain subset of the population, because it's this loner cinema type story similar to Taxi Driver. So you got like a guy, a pathetic fucking loser, and he becomes an anarchist, starts fighting the system, and he ignites this flame. Now, then the wrong people start to flock towards this character and start embracing the character. So you think it's an accident that then in the next movie that I watched the other day, they basically completely emasculate that character, literally they have him get fucked up the ass. You think that's an accident? That's not an accident, okay? And there's a gazillion fucking examples of it. Could keep going for an hour, okay? That's a calculated effort. That's the point, the whole point. They're doing that on purpose, and they don't give a shit if they lose money or not.
But that's the creator of the game in Last of Us situation. Like, he was already like that, and he intended to do that. And then same with the Joker, right? The director.
He was like, what, Jewish?
Their agenda was already like that off jump. It's just that they fooled people into coming in from the beginning.
Yeah.
Crazy Cat has a question about the campaign. Is it going to go in demand?
Going to go in demand? What is it? What is that again? When it's like after the fact, you can still order? I don't think so, actually. Yeah. No. Here's the thing, though. So whatever many books it ends up being at the end of the run for both campaigns, we always print a surplus. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go to the printers. Let's say it's like fucking 600 something books. You can't go to a printer and say, can you print 635.5 books for me? Okay, so you have to buy in bulk, and then whatever the bulk is, the extra. The surplus, we sell that in the online Iconic comic store. So there is always a chance that you can grab one after the fact, but it's going to be the price a little bit upmarked. So you're going to be cheaper off when you support the campaign, of course. Plus, you want to get like the collectible covers, because as you see with the first covers, they've run out pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I encourage you to just back the campaigns while they're live.
Yeah, you get stickers and a standee.
Yeah, you're gonna get the standee.
So is Butch Gilligan? Are you? Do you have plans for more? Do you just go as you go? You know, when it comes to you?
No, I have written 9 books actually, scripts for 9 books. So the first 3 books is this. We got Butch number 1, number 2 is finished. But by the way, another thing. Whenever I do a crowdfunding campaign, the book is done. Okay, so the book is ready. Book 2 is ready. Minus some little alter. I'm always like tinkering with it still up until the last second. But the book is done. So you're going to get your book after it all is said and done. We're going to start the fulfillment process, and then I'm going to start off with book 3. Book 1, 2, 3 is basically act 1 of the story. then 3, 4, 5, Act 2, etc. And it's going to be 9 books in total. And yes, I've been writing basically 9 books at once. You know what I'm saying? Which is
the way
quite
to do
the
it.
task.
You gotta be ahead of the game.
Yeah, you
I'm
think
gonna
so?
get TJ to draw like 9 books all at once for me. Right, TJ?
All right.
Sure.
My Butch Killigan standee will be the only other dude in a sea of beautiful Common America ones.
Nice. Yeah, Common America is doing really well. I think they've surpassed the 100K, and they're doing they're doing really good in Japan. They were like trending #1 in Japan because the Japanese, they love to see unapologetic American pride. Because the Japanese have also noticed, like, what the fuck is going on with this? Like, the term for this is oikophobia. It's like the hatred of the self and your own culture. Right. Oikophobia is the term.
Oh, for a second, I thought you said oinkophobia, and I thought you were talking about Vito being scared that he's a pig. But we're joined by Johnny Rocket, the writer of Wrath of Elephant. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, what's up, dude?
What up, homies?
What up, dog?
Who's ready for revenge? Which refers to both our books, actually.
Hell yeah.
Kill those fuckers.
Yeah, we love revenge around here.
Yeah, except your guys, it seems like it's Judge Dredd versus gay people. Mine is an elephant versus wops.
I like that. Judge Dredd versus gay people. That's a great pitch. I'm going to use that from now on.
Feel free.
Yeah. You should read if you want to actually enjoy Isom. You got to read Johnny Rocket's redo of Isom, where he redoes the dialogue and everything. It's fantastic. It's great.
Is it a video or what is it?
Oh, what I did was a friend sent me a PDF of Isom, and then I used, the snipping tool that comes with your computer. I used that to grab panels, and then I used GIMP to change the dialogue and add text box. I can't draw at all, but I fixed it. I made Isom a good story, and I made him gay because Eric July is gay, and it's a very funny middle finger, and it impressed EVS.
And he was still badass, strangely enough.
Yeah. I basically made it like gay Black Dynamite Batman instead of just a black guy murdering people.
and it got him a job writing a comic
on Twitter. Yeah. Black guys murdering.
Yeah, it's fucked up. We need
Isom. How do you guys all get that shit? For some reason, I always hear everyone complain. I'm seeing dead bodies. I'm seeing people getting killed, murdered. None of my Twitter has any of that. I don't know who the hell people are following.
Every time something bad happens in Palestine, yes, videos make the rounds.
Dude, I wake up every morning with my morning paper to another Palestinian kid's blown up brains splattered across the floor. That's why I will wake up every morning. Thank you so much, babe. I'm getting another coffee right here. Yes, literally my entire timeline is like gore. It's like rotten.com, basically. Twitter has become rotten.com.
I must be following the wrong people because all I see is titties and ass on my timeline.
Yeah, well.
Some of it's from my co-host.
Pretty cool.
You have to watch the cool stuff. I don't know. I don't know if I would call that cool stuff. People's brains being blown out.
Yeah, it's not cool, actually. Ever since the Elon Musk takeover, it's been nothing but gore and death on my timeline. People getting electrocuted, Indian people getting run over by trains.
Oh, yeah, I see that every now and then. It's crazy.
It's fucking disgusting.
It would be funny if that was it. It would be funny if that was Elon's intent all along. He was lying about free speech. He's just like, I just want live leak back. So he bought Twitter.
It would make sense. It would make a lot of sense.
At least it inspired Elephant,
Yeah, I saw Elephant's doing really well, so congratulations.
No, thanks, man.
Mm. So you guys all only do like Indiegogo. You guys don't do Kickstarter then, huh?
Yeah, it's I forget who this happened to, but a friend of EVS, or was it EVS himself, got banned from Kickstarter for being right wing. So
No.
Several
he will
CG
not.
people.
Yeah, he doesn't want anything to do with Kickstarter at
I see.
all. So if he has, when he has you on the show or whatever, just do like the Indiegogo one.
Gotcha. Well, here's the thing with EVS. People are constantly tweeting at him. You got to have Sven on. You got to have him on. He always says, yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's do it. And I even DM'd me. He said, hey, I'll have you on. Let's set it up. And anytime when we get to the point where I go, okay, just give me the time and date and I'll be there. That's when I hear the crickets, So maybe you guys can nudge him again, because I'd like to set it up before the end of my campaign. We got 2 more weeks left. I'd like to hop on there and talk to the guy. We're both Dutch. I think we'll hit it off. I mean, I talked to him before on the kill stream.
Yeah, I know he's been going through some stuff, so
yeah, I've seen that. He's been busy. I understand that.
I mean, I did give him the link for the show today, so he might pop in.
All right.
Who knows? But any advice for guys like Johnny, myself? We're looking to get into indie comics to be the next Sven.
The next Sven?
Mm.
What do you mean? Well, my advice is to finish your comic book first. Do not fall into the trap where you do like a crowdfund of like a vague concept. A lot of people, psychologically, it's not good because you're gonna get your applause and your accolades front loaded. That's not good for a person because that actually motivates you. You should be excited about when you're slaving away at your comic book. In the back of your head, you're going to go, well, one day somebody's going to see this, right? Now, if you do that before you even get started, it's just not the right way around. So you got to finish your book first. Then you do your crowdfund. And then secondly, obviously, you need to take into account that you're going to have to actually get this into people's hands at some point. And you need to understand you're not going to get rich off of this. You need to do this for the passion of the craft. You really want to be in a position where you have to get this story out there, and then maybe at some point down the line you're going to make some money off of this, because most of the cash that you get from your crowdfund is going to go into fulfillment, packaging, and all that stuff. Okay, it's going to be like 3/4 of your campaign funds are going to go into that. Okay, so maybe 1/4 is going to go into your pocket if you're lucky. All right. So, and that's the mistake most people make. They think, oh, look at that. I made a bunch of money. Let's go have some nice dinners. And then when the time rolls around that they have to actually fulfill this thing and send the books out to people, and it's like, oh, shit, my money's gone. Many such cases. And that's why a lot of these things fail. So those are my 2 main tips. I think those are the 2 most important ones.
So we shouldn't name a character after a ministry.
That's probably, yeah. You should probably not do that. And I thought when I first saw the name ISOM, I thought it reminded me of something you would see on the side of like a cement truck or a delivery truck, like ISOM Logistics or something. Doesn't really seem like a real superhero-y name to me. Yeah. I don't know. I just think on the face of it, it's not that great of a name. But, I guess that's racist of me to say.
I think it's a stupid name. I think it definitely wasn't a name. It definitely was an acronym. He said on several occasions that it was an acronym, right? And then it only became a name after he got sued, and then suddenly he discovered an ancestor that just happened to be named Isom Knox.
Uh-huh. And now it's Young Isom. Or no? Is that official?
It seems like just the statue he decided to call Young Isom, because I guess he can't just call it Isom. I don't know what he's going to call Isom 3, because he's going to have to give it a funny name now.
He's still doing those?
He claims he is. I think he's going to do a 3, but I think it's my opinion that when 3 comes out, that instead of just releasing 3, he's going to be like, guys, I got a better deal for you. Instead of just getting ISOM 3, I'm going to get you 1, 2, and 3 all together. You can get one collection. It's the ill-advised art collection. That way he could advertise it as the ill-advised art.
Yeah.
Now, look, if I was him, what I would do is I would lean into the criticism, and the third book would just be made out of like a low polygon PlayStation 2 N64 models, something like that.
I would just
like,
leave it blank. I would just leave it blank, like the Emperor's New Clothes, right? And be like, hey, what do you mean there's nothing in there? You're racist. Just call everyone racist.
No, actually, making the 3D models even worse, that would actually kind of be charming.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It would be pretty cool.
Stick figures in it.
It would be meta, you know. I like meta stuff. I like when the medium becomes the message, you know, and you kind of adopt like the murmurs and the discussions around your art, and you kind of absorb that into it. So I think that would be cool if you actually did like low polygon models for the next book.
So speaking of your book, Butch Killigan, is there any plans? Because I know everyone seems to have plans. They're going to make a comic, and then suddenly it's going to be a movie, it's going to be an animated series, it's going to be a TV show, there's going to be video games, action figures. Is there more going on with Butch, or are you just keeping it to the comic book realm?
Now, first of all, so during the first campaign, you could order this art book with it. I think these are definitely no longer available. And you could see in the art book, you can see the sort of like the evolution of how Butch Gilligan started. So if you can see here, it sort of started very early on as like a run and gun shooter type of video game concept, actually. And then it sort of went into like a side-scrolling beat 'em up, very early stuff. And then as the story started to expand, I'll show you again. So this is when it became like a side-scrolling beat 'em up style thing. This is the shooter concept art. But yeah, as the story started to evolve, it kind of became too big for its bridges, and I had to. I decided I'm going to make this into a comic book. First of all, I'm come from an animation background. Okay, this is my first comic book project, but you know, in animation, you basically already do storyboarding and all that stuff, and that's when you get started with the arduous animation process. So for me, it was a lot easier and a lot quicker to get like comic books out and to get my story out there. Now I am playing with the idea of doing some animated concepts. I'm thinking of maybe animating like the first chapter just to see. It's kind of like not necessarily a pitch, but just like a concept. Excuse me?
I said like a test run?
Yeah, something like that. But it would be purely because that's something that I really want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I don't really have any like business ideas or plans. Like and again, no, I am not, to answer your question, I am not like dreaming up the ideal casting for the live action cinematic universe and stuff like that. No, I'm not going to go that far at all. We're doing a comic book series, and that's going to be it. And then there might be some animation stuff happening as well. But again, I'm doing all of it myself. You know what I'm saying? So I really, I'm spread thin here, and I need to just focus on what I need to do first. You know what I'm saying? I can't really, because I tend to do that. I'm scatterbrained. I have like so many different ideas, and then I lose track. So I need to hone in on the task at hand, and that's the books. That's the main bread and butter. And then we'll see where we go from there, you know?
But eventually we'll see Terry Crews as Butch Killigan.
Yes, that would be my ideal casting, yes.
Netflix adaptation, sure.
Yeah.
No, Netflix will be a woman. It'll be Ronda Rousey as Butch Killigan.
Yes, and again, if you guys think that's just boring, no, they're doing that. They're supplanting the cis white male. They're giving you a firmware update with that. Okay, they're toppling the male power fantasy, and they're replacing it with a black female. That's what they're doing, in the same way that they're doing it in the streets, in the same way that they're toppling your statues. That's what that is. It's not just an HR department problem. It's not just that. It goes way, way, way higher than that. So maybe we can tell as that. As
long as they don't get rid of the white women, I'll be okay.
You're going to get rid of those too. They're getting rid of the red-haired women. They're all black. April O'Neil is black.
I'm a big fan of the redheads, Sven. They're like my kryptonite.
It's tough shit because they're all black now.
I know. That's like my opposite of kryptonite.
Yeah,
not a big fan of the black women.
Oh, you're very.
What's Butcher's pronouns? Is this Roy Jin?
His name's not Butcher, but it's just a he, him, sis. Just a boring old cis.
Just a regular man.
Just a regular old guy.
So, like I said, looks good. Sounds good. I love the way it looks. I love the art. And like you said, it's going to be ready, guys. When the campaign ends, they're going to be ready to ship this bad boy out.
Hell yeah.
That's completely insane.
Isn't that fucking nuts?
Crazy Cat says, if Frog Tony were smart, he'd gas up Sven with anti-Ripper rhetoric to get some moments clipped. It all works towards a promotion. I'm trying to keep everything calm and sane. I don't want to. I don't like gassing people.
I think there's plenty of clips already. I think you think there's some good clips in there already. And honestly, here's the thing: people make the mistake in thinking that I have some kind of animosity towards the guy. If people knew anything about me and they watched my streams, I do art analysis all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I guess, it's very tough when somebody critiques your work and it's not positive. I understand that, but you kind of just got to take it on the chin. You shouldn't just immediately go with this impulse to cancel people and try to contact their fucking employers and shit like that. And then they call me a liberal. It's kind of fucking gay. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys might have heard of this Lady Alchemy woman. She also did a failed, terrible comic book, which was just self-insert ego stroke.
Oh, yeah. I also have the PDF file of that. And I was also going to do an edited version like I did with ISOM. But I just forgot about it. I read a couple pages and then I just forgot about it.
Well, she'll go crazy on you like she did to what's her name, Brittany Venti. Remember?
Yeah.
I almost had Lady Alchemy on the show, and then I didn't really know much about her. I started looking into her, and I was like, found some videos and shit where she's claiming she has angel blood in her system. She has special angel blood, guys.
Oh no!
I'm like, you're too nuts for my program.
No, she literally thinks she's like a Nephilim type of angel type of thing. She's if you talk about like a grifter, this is it. And she was one of the first right-wing conservatives on the scene that made her grift like, I'm getting canceled and everybody hates me. This victim narrative, right-wing victim narrative was what she was spinning. I watched a public video. This was just a couple of weeks ago. On my stream, she did like a new thing. She was going to crowdfund a renovation of a barn, and she was going to call it the Art Barn. And she's just walking around this barn, like kind of fantasizing about how awesome it's going to be. And she's like, oh, this is going to be where my shoes are, and this is going to be my stage. And I'm just kind of goofing on her Art Barn. And then the next day, she made a whole thread about how I am stalking her and I'm this insane stalker and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So she really tends to exaggerate things a little bit. She's just fucking
definitely
nuts.
Not insane.
Oh, I once saw a tweet from her where she found like a weird cellar door, and it's her filming herself going in it, and then it's like an abandoned theater. And her takeaway was like, this is where the Illuminati kills people. It's just like, no, it's just an abandoned theater that you stumbled upon. There's probably homeless guys in there.
Yes. I remember because she calls herself, what is this? She went nuts on Sven for playing GeoGuessr. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. GeoGuessing?
Yeah.
Where you just kind of look at a picture of like a tree or whatever, and then these complete crazy autists, they go, oh, this is like in Arizona or whatever, and they'll drop the Google Street View guy on a map, and they guess the location. So we happened to be talking about that, and then when I watched Lady Alchemy's video about her art barn, I was like, oh, let's guess where the location is. So I did it was literally like a throwaway gag that I did on my stream, and I did like, bloop, I did that. And then she said, in that Twitter thread she made, and he's trying to dox me, and he's doxing my location. Now, here's the thing. If you have no context of what this was, it was literally me We were watching 100 goofy little internet videos on my stream where I'm streaming for 4 hours. One of those videos was her, and we did a little GeoGuessr gag, and then she makes us out to be like, yeah, he's stalking me and he's doxing me, right? And then you have all her Sims going, oh my God, this shouldn't be okay. Are you all right? You're so prosecuted. Oh, and everybody's falling for it, even though it's just a complete lie, just complete bullshit, you know?
Yeah,
Sim, of course.
Yeah, sim mentality. They want a crumb of that pussy. That's all it is.
Yeah, they think they're gonna get some of that. I mean, she's not really holding up that well. She looks like a straight up babushka.
She used to
Was
be
another funny. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I heard she like used to be like a New York party girl, like she was an influencer or something when she was hot.
Yeah,
So now
It's like
she's
a
had to
model or
be.
some shit.
Yeah, now she's had to switch to grifting as she's gotten older, or maybe she's just gotten crazier.
yeah. So here's the funny thing. So her performance art. What she does is this. So she calls herself Lady Alchemy, and now one of the basic concepts in alchemy is like the purifications of metal, and you have like 3 steps. It's like Negretto. Pardon my French. Negretto is black, and then you have another thing that's white, and then red. Okay, which is the Philosopher's Stone or some garbage nonsense. And then so how does she interpret this alchemical process? Well, she in the Negretto video she did this art video. She gets naked and then she pours like black tar over herself through the remainder of the video. That's accompanied by like glitchy synthwave music. And then she did one with about the white process of the alchemical process, wherein you guessed it, she gets naked and she pours white yogurt over herself. Now the only thing that's missing is where she starts pouring red stuff over herself. She needs to be really quick. Again, like I said, the clock's ticking on that bod of hers. But
Right.
So that's basically what she does. And the funny thing is, I was doing on one of my streams. I do like art analysis stuff. Somebody had sent me like a gigabyte of like thesis projects of like some European art academy. And it was all these videos of like female students with their end product, performance art stuff. And the funny thing is that we started noticing was they all get naked or topless and start pouring stuff over them. So we watched the video of a woman, she gets naked and then she starts pouring powders over herself. There's another one that gets naked and she starts putting SpaghettiOs on herself. That's just, it tends to be, there's a theme here with women. And then the funny thing is that Lady Alchemy, she brands herself as this conservative. We need to bring beauty back into art. She's indistinguishable from like the biggest garbage conceptual libtard artists out there. She's like a commie, basically. And then
like Melanie Mac.
Excuse me?
Like Melanie Mac, same story.
I don't know that one.
She used to be really progressive and she loved all the Tomb Raiders, but then she got old and divorced, and suddenly now she's super conservative and she's religious. And
yeah, she joined us.
Yep. She got tattoos all up and down her arms. But trust me, she's conservative. But she also wants big titties and she wants to see all the sexiness, but super religious. It's a weird contradiction.
Yeah.
You guys are just haters. This is how you defeat the demons. You spore SpaghettiOs. You get tattoos.
I'm not a hater, Johnny. I'm literally on the other tab. I'm signing up to go to art school. Sven has convinced me that I need to go to an art school with a lot of women.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to do. It doesn't hurt to do a little bit of research. Crazy Cat says, "Ask Sven how Iconic responded to being tagged with tweets about Eric July." Yeah. So when I made my analysis, like I always do, but this time about the Eric July tokenism thing, a bunch of his little bots there that he pays on Twitter tried to ratio me, and yeah, they instead of like just taking it on the chin a little bit, they decided to do like the cancel culture type of thing. By the way, I've had much worse. I've had the Chinese Communist Party come after me. They contacted my entire family. It was fucking nuts for months and months and months, but we'll get into that another time, I guess. So this is means nothing to me. And yeah, Iconic Comics doesn't give a flying fuck. You understand me? They're like staunch free speech activists. You understand me? They're my friends. I hung out with them. They're not going to give a flying fucking shit about your little whining pussies. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Yeah, I was going to talk about another thing that was funny with Lady Alchemy, real quick. I'm obsessed by Lady Alchemy.
No, it's okay.
She was on a podcast with an alchemist. She somehow found herself on a podcast with an alchemist, and this guy is trying to talk about alchemy. So he goes like, so when it comes to like the shadow transformation of the self, and you think about the Negretto process of the soul, how is that in your conception of the alchemical process or some such nonsense? And then you kind of see her ditzy idiot. She's sitting there like, what? And she says this. Well, I wasn't expecting questions like that. It's not like I'm like an alchemy expert. And it's like, you're Lady Alchemy. That's your name. You are Lady Alchemy. And then the guy asks you a basic alchemy question and you like completely stumped. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, Crazy Cat, for doing my job for me. I like when the chat has good questions and it just makes me hosting not have to do as much work. Guys, doing less work, you should know that. Anyone who's been around this channel knows I don't even go to my regular job most of the time. So doing this job, definitely not going to happen.
Hell yeah.
Alpha Snork says, it's like these weirdos thinking Bosch would be scared of Rippatards. Yeah. Are you familiar with the Bosch Faustine?
Who?
Bosch Faustine.
Like Vausch?
No, Bosch.
No, he's the guy who made Pigman.
Pigman?
Yeah.
you love him, by the way. You love his work.
He made not Batman. That's like a Pigman beating up.
I've heard of Horseman. I haven't heard of Pigman. Maybe they should team up.
Probably.
No,
yeah.
Pigman probably would not team up with Horseman because Pigman goes out and Islamist, terrorist and stuff like that.
What if Horseman is Muslim?
Is a former. It could be.
Does Pigman force Islamists to suck his cock? Because it's
exactly, Sven. You got it. You got it.
Something like that. He touches them with pork to make them unclean before he kills them. He's literally covered in pigskin.
Oh, like that. He's not like a humanoid pig.
No, he's a guy in a pig costume.
Oh, well, okay, that's pretty cool. That sounds pretty cool.
What about him? Draws Muhammad. Well, he draws Muhammad and he does all that stuff. He was in the Draw Muhammad contest. I got attacked by some crazy people and basically gets death threats by jihadists like every day. So
I think
the Rippatards went after him.
The Netherlands' current prime minister was there at that event, I think. Geert Wilders, you know that guy, the anti-Islam party from the Netherlands? I think he was at that event that got attacked, the Draw Muhammad event.
Summer Swan wants to know, where does Sven live? And she wants to dox you. She's one of Lady Alchemy's people.
Oh my God, I'm getting doxxed. What a fucking psycho stalker. No, I moved to Southeast Asia. I'm on the tropical island of Bali, Indonesia nowadays. I've been here for a couple of months now, and yeah, so far so good.
Living the good life out there.
Excuse me?
I said you're living the good life. I got a little bit of a tan because I'm Mexican. I just was born with one.
What? You didn't tell me you're a Mexican. No, just kidding.
I know. That's why I use the frog avatar. It tricks people. And then I got a voice. People think I'm black when they hear my voice. So
no, you know what? I was you sort of do have a little bit of a little Kermity type of thing. So I think the voice avatar really fits with your voice, to be honest.
Yeah, that's how I actually got it. Yeah, because I started off with a regular avatar, and then people started calling me Kermit, and then I used a Kermit avatar. And then when I started getting monetized, I said I can't put Kermit on things because Disney will sue me, right? So I had to get my own version of a frog. And,
of course,
we just landed on this now.
Makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, what were you guys talking about? Pigman, because Pigman sounds kind of based.
It is. Like I said, Bosch is an anti-Islamist. So he, he draws Muhammad every day. I don't know every day, but he draws Muhammad a lot. He sells that stuff. He has to deal with people, death threats. So Pigman is basically the story of two brothers. One of them, who after 9/11 decides that he wants to, stop Muslim terrorism stuff, and the other brother leans more.
He doesn't want to stop the dancing Israelis.
No,
Why not? But yeah, keep going.
No, Pigman is Israel's greatest ally.
Oh man, that kind of sucks though. Come on, Pigman. Pigman needs to get new intel.
Yeah, he doesn't have an Alfred. If he had an Alfred,
Yeah,
he'd get red pilled.
yeah. Pigman desperately needs an Alfred so that he can really target, you know, more of our enemies.
I'm looking forward to eventually one day getting a Hollywood movie of my comic book. So I love the Jews. They're great. They're fantastic people. Love that little hat that they wear. You know, fantastic.
Love it so much. I love little tiny hats. I love basement sex dungeons.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, who does not?
You say that like it's a bad thing, Sven. What's a little basement sex dungeon between friends, right?
Yeah, look, they have every right to build their tunnels and their sex dungeons and their sex islands and their sex blackmail dungeon type of stuff. That's super cool stuff.
Well, Lady
when
Alchemy
he said sex
all.
when he said sex blackmails, I thought he was talking about Diddy. I was like, oh, they built Diddy from the ground up.
Let's see what names are. Well, we will never find out the names behind that. Diddy is a fall guy.
You think so?
Probably. But that's good. Look, I always suspected that the entire rap scene was queer and gay coded, and I'm vindicated yet again. So yeah, rap is gay. There was an article that came out that said that out of all the males that identify as gay, blacks are at the top. So yeah, a lot of stuff about black culture being revealed nowadays.
Well, if you're black and you say you're gay, they can't fire you. So maybe it's lying. Maybe it's a very clever trick.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, because we all know blacks are well known for their cleverness.
I think P. Diddy's scam was pretty clever.
Is it?
Our friend from Australia here says, I wonder if Lady Gaga would be stumped if a Gaga asked her opinion on Basic Gaga. It's a good question. You know what? While you're thinking about that, we're going to actually play you a little something special.
Niggas can be gay too. Whether you like it or you love it. Whether you're kissing or you're touching. The ride or lust, I know you covet. Niggas can be gay too. There ain't nothing you need to hide. Video games won't really survive. Tomorrow you might not be alive. Niggas can be gay too. Niggas can be gay too.
Not AI at all. That's definitely Eric July popping his ass cheeks on film for men.
Yeah, that reminds me. Have you guys ever heard of the classic one, Gangsta Fag? That rapper who raps about fucking other black guys up the ass. Used to be a thing in Opie, and Patrice O'Neal brought that to the fray, I think. R.I.P. Rest his soul.
Yeah. He was one of the clever ones.
Good. Yeah, that was one of the clever ones.
All right. Crazy Cat wants to remind us that the whole pants sagging below the waist thing is from prison culture. It's a sign of gay submission.
Yeah, it's to let them know you're a prostitute. And for some reason, I remember in high school, I was hanging out with some friends, and we were like, most of us were white, but the one ginger kid, he was doing the prison pants sag thing, and I explained to the group, that's from prison. That means you'll take it in the ass for cigarettes. And he got all offended. I was like,
yeah, he did it for free. He didn't need the cigarettes. How dare you?
He didn't like that.
He was like, I was like, bro, why would you say that to me? It's like, you're doing it. You're doing a really gay thing right now.
Yeah, you were trying to help him.
Exactly.
I made a video about Eminem being gay. Did you guys catch that one?
I think I missed that.
I'll send it to the chat real quick, okay? Tony, here, check it out. Maybe you can pull this up. It's in the Twitter chat. Pull up that video real quick. Hopefully, it's not going to get your stream taken down. My cartoons tend to get streams taken down.
You know, we've been pretty lucky. The only stream we ever got taken down in the middle of us streaming was we were playing WWE music, like wrestler themes.
Oh, well, this might do it then. Let's see. Maybe you should back up this stream later. Put on the music, though. Music. Audio.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm Slim Shady, and I'm a fag. I love sucking cock, and I think I'm black. Rappers cringe and kinda whack. I'm so gay, let me stack on your sack. I spit rhymes like I spit out your cum. Put your dick in my mouth after you come in my bum. Come, yum, yum, yum. I'm Eminem, and I am so gay. 50 years old, but still I slay. Subverting the youth, day by day. Moloch is to whom I pray. I'm gay. I'm gay. I'm gay.
Wow, I can't believe Eminem would do that.
Slim shit.
Isn't that nuts? Well, trust me, more and more things are going to come out about Eminem. He's getting increasingly more gay. He's also being implicated in the whole P. Diddy thing. So, yeah, I think he got diddled by Diddy's P a little bit too there. P.
I think he's a 3-time freak-off champion. That's what I think.
Yeah. So we'll see. That video of him resurfaced where he did that mega diss on Trump. Did you guys see that? It might be.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not.
Oh,
Fire, so fire.
Isn't that like the worst? That's like you guys should like it. That back then there was so much Trump hatred. So when we saw that video, we were just kind of like, oh, he's another one of these things. But if you rewatch it now, like it's like almost 10 times more cringe than it was even back then.
It's so weird because like he has good songs. You would think he could make a fuck Trump song that makes you go like, okay, that is a pretty good song though.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I was never really that much of an Eminem fan, to be honest. I'm not really that big of a rap guy. Now, you know what I do love? New metal with a black front guy.
Oh yeah, that's
boy.
That's
do you guys have
hardcore.
any suggestions or recommendations before I go? Because I have another appearance very soon. But do you have any recommendations? Maybe you can pull up for me.
Oh yeah, check it out. It's called Backwoods.
Backwoods.
Yeah.
They're in the woods.
Yeah, they're fucking cool.
Can
They're
I
not
see
gay
them?
at all. Well, that's up to Tony. That's up to Tony if you're cool enough to see these awesome badass guys.
Like to see some of
I
that.
think we could pull some of that up.
Their lyrics
they're
make me
gonna
think
be
they
my
should write
outro
comic
music.
books.
Hold on, I gotta
Find a good one.
He literally has lyrics about criticism.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know,
About how
this
he
is
hates
a good
being
one.
critiqued.
Here we go. Let It Slide. I think this is about him talking about dicks on his ass. So this should be a good one.
I can't let it slide.
Damn. Does he do screamo stuff?
This is backwards music.
Look like we got another one of them. Popping at the mouth or the side.
This is more rappy. I want him to scream.
Oh, you want one where he screams?
It was like corn, you know?
Yeah, don't show him rapping. He's not black.
Look, it
Yeah,
just
come
said
on.
add backwards music. What do you want me to do?
That's too black. I want him to go like like that type of shit, you
The
know?
one where they're in the warehouse and everything is spinning.
White pilled?
I guess so. Why did he call it that?
Because when you're black pilled, that means you're sad and you want the world to end. But when you're white pilled, you're excited, just like for his comic book.
I think that might mean something different nowadays, but
Or maybe he just likes white dick. I don't know. Or maybe he does drugs.
Another day.
I'm getting douche chills.
Oh, you don't like the cubes?
This is like really Linkin Parky.
Yeah. I thought it was like blocks of cheese.
Yeah. This slaps.
It's a uphill battle, but it's my attitude. I'm prepared. If I had to travel a destined avenue, but don't mistake this place is for no foundation. I may be an optimist, but I know where I guess so shut it.
It hurts my feelings.
I'm not gay. You're gay.
I understand that you're down and out, but I cannot have you.
I think we got the point. Well, that's awesome. I'm going to listen to that on my iPod while I jog, while I punch the walls in my apartment.
Galaxy says he likes the puppet version better. We all do.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I like that puppet. Well, guys, I'm sorry to say, but I got to go. I have another interview lined up with Adam Green on No More News, but I had fun hanging out with you guys. We got to do it again sometime.
Yeah, anytime. You're definitely welcome here. We'll talk more diverse. I know everyone's like sad that I didn't get you to like pop off more, but I thought you did pretty well.
I think I said plenty of stuff. Do you guys felt I held back or something?
No, I had fun. Tony wants you to call someone the N-word.
I'm not going to do that right now. Sorry. Who do you want me? No, I'm not going to do that.
You called TJ the N-word because he left because his internet is acting up again. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Sven. Go back the comic, guys. Indiegogo, Butch Killigan 2, go back it. He's got that new cover for the first issue. So if you missed that, you can pick that up.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Sven, one thing. Would you believe that Tony didn't talk to me about appearing on the show tonight? He just sent me a link 5 minutes before, and somehow I made it.
Somehow.
That's kind of nuts how that works out. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll see if the veto thing happens during Killstream next week. I thought maybe Ethan Ralph said something like that. He might set it up again. It's going to be the third time that we're going to try this. I guess today we can mark as the fourth time that we tried to do that. So we'll see. This is gonna get hyped up so much. I don't know if it's going to be a big letdown at some point if Vito ever decides to show up, but I'm still excited to talk to him about indie comics. And yeah, please go back. Butch Gilligan #2. It's still live for 2 weeks. Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. And yeah, we'll do this again sometime.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks again.
Take it easy, guys. Peace.